Hey everyone, how's it going? Saturday here with you. Go over the week. First off, I made a comment on Thursday night saying I think Apple will have some alpha against the S&P, and I could not have been more wrong. If there was a letter after Omega, that's where my opinion would have stood because that's how far away I could not have been more far away from Apple having alpha. So, with that said, let's get started. Starting out the week, I couldn't log into Think or Swim Chart for some reason, so I have a different platform up here. So here's the same thing, broke it out into days on a 15-minute scale. So once again, we saw the same routine we've been seeing. Apple up Monday, Tuesday, and then comes down Thursday, Friday. Once again, this doesn't have to be. It doesn't. Um, the up part or the peak can either be on Tuesday, Wednesday, or just somewhere in here. It's basically what you're getting at is it rising, falling. And that kind of brings me to another point. If you're going to, you can't just, this isn't going to happen every single time. So you can't just bank on it every single time. And you cannot keep increasing your position. Like, if you didn't want to take the weekend risk, you can just play the opposite of it, which actually has higher probability. Um, so instead of buying through the weekend and just hoping that it rises, what you can do is you can see if it does rise. And if it does, great, because you know what's coming next. It's going to be coming down. So you can, instead of initiating position here, initiate it here. Um, and kind of going with that, I just want to keep people safe. I didn't really want to show this, but if it means keeping people safe. Um, so in 2011, Apple gained 80 points. If you blindly bought the Friday close and sold on the Tuesday close, you would have gained 168 points. If you would have bought the Wednesday close and sold the Friday close, you would have lost 48 points. That's how much this routine does work. But this is cumulative. This is very important. You cannot just keep increasing your position size because, oh man, this works like a charm. I get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because you may year to date have 60 points worth of gain, but one of these days you're going to wake up and it's going to be down 20. So you're still up 40 as long as you're keeping the position size the same. You can't keep doubling up because it is cumulative. You may be up 60. One of these weekends it may open down 10, so now you're only up 50 cumulative. So just keep that in mind. Um, Going back over here, so let's kind of go through the week. On Wednesday night down here, I said I'll go over in a video of the 6:30 strike, how I use it as sell signal. And so on Monday, Apple opens up at, I think it was 6:26, and it starts, immediately heading higher. Well, it's just too early in the week. I'm not going to use this as a sell signal this particular week. It's just not lining up. So Apple comes up to 644 on that Tuesday and then starts heading down lower drastically. So now when Apple starts coming back this way, all of a sudden this is going to turn right back into a sell signal for me because not only is the direction coming down, this is also going to give pressure too to help it come down more. So let's go to a chart. So I made that comment on Wednesday night. So right in here is when you would start to use it because it's coming. It broke through it. I didn't want to do anything. I'm going to wait for it if it comes down. If it never does, so be it. But it did. Turns into a sell signal. You would take a bearish position and watch for the bottom to fall out. It may take some time, and what do you know? It does. So that's how I use that as a sell signal. Going up, it was not. Coming back down, it was. When Apple was up here on Tuesday, in the 640, 635 area, it doesn't really matter. I started selling the 660 call spreads because I like to stay up here in this 98% probability range. So I started selling the 660 call spreads and the 670. I even went out and got 30 cents on some 670, 675 credit call spreads because I'm not one of these people that's has this magic number you have to make X amount percent. I will gladly risk $470 to make $30 every single time because if you annualize that, it's like 330% gain a year. I will take that every single time while others don't. It is such high probability that I have no problem doing it, and I don't laugh at any sort of gain. Um, And so yeah, that's what I did there. And then as far as this not holding, there's things you just can't explain. I definitely didn't see this much weakness coming in this week. I definitely thought it was going to be coming next week, this coming up week, but I didn't think that. I thought this 615 would hold. Um, Again, any of the bets I. This is why it's 80%. It just hit that 20% mark. I think it was. I think you can explain it with volume. You had 50% more volume kick in, um, on this chart than the 90-day average. So I think options market isn't going to be stopping volume fear, and so the 80% didn't hold, but the 98% held. Going to or okay, and so in a normal market without earnings, just say it was earnings already passed. That would definitely be Apple closing down here. Definitely would trigger me to get bearish. And what you could have done, is when you were using this as a sell signal, you could have shed half like I talk about, and then just played with the house's money on the rest, and saw what happened, and it kept going down. You kept holding it, holding it, holding it. You'd still hold it, and just kind of general, just keep holding it until something flags you to buy it back, really, at any time. So Apple can drop. This was your sell signal, so it's kind of up to you whenever you want to take profits on that. Because it's earnings coming up, I'm still just not concerned with a trend change. I think it's just the rumor mill's job, or Wall Street's job, to make the stock as low as possible, to scare you out. It is what they do for a living. Um, you have to realize that it's just to be taken advantage of. You need to know the mathematics. You need to know the fact over the fiction. And so let's go into. So this week, I fully expected Apple to close right in here. Coming into next week, though, you may get a little pop on Monday, for that Monday Tuesday routine, let's say. But it may also sell off real quick, so it may jump up $5-10 and then start selling off. So there may be a gain in there to have. Coming back to this is when I thought the weakness would start in. Remember a few weeks ago, I was trying to get rid of those trading shares by selling covered calls. Well, I finally got rid of them. They finally got taken from me last week. And so now I have cash ready to go. I was expecting, Apple was up in this 630 range. If it would have expired up in here, then coming this monthly expiry, I was expecting some weakness to kick in. Well, that weakness kicked in a little early. So we're sitting right about here. I am fully prepared, cash ready to go. Right about here, if it gets down into this 580 area, right at this put strike, I will be loading up the boat, because I have listened to Tim Cook at that Goldman Sachs conference. I know how much conviction he has. I know that he knows how much is going in the channel. I know all these facts. Tim Cook will never, ever, ever lie to you. You have to know what's real, and you have to know what is just rumor to get the stock as cheap as possible to slingshot it higher. So you have to know these things. If it never gets down here, I won't use that cash. I always have a core position on. So be it. It goes higher, never looks back. Fine by me. But I will not. Haven't sold any shares in Apple for a long time. But as far as I raised cash to look for this weakness, because I thought this weakness would be coming. And I actually thought, it'd be about 600 was it. So, but if we're already there and we have monthly expiration, that's another thing too. If Apple stalls, hangs out, does something, say it doesn't have weakness, but just stalls out here at the 600, and then on Friday starts having major weakness, that is going to be the buying opportunity, of the quarter, because the last 20 of 22 monthly expirations have been in the red. So if you get just a 2% down day next Friday, that's when you want to be loading up the boat, because it will be going higher after that. So hopefully I didn't ramble on too much and a little bit coherent. So have a good weekend.